What is up, Colorado? Welcome back to a new episode of Nuggets and Brews, where we talk Denver Nuggets and we get to drink Colorado craft beer. It's been a while since we've done a podcast. The last time we did a podcast was beginning of the season. It was the beginning of the season. We were out in Missoula, Montana, just kind of previewing the Nuggets, talking a little bit about Jamal Murray.
We were at Woods Boss.
We were at Woods Boss. We were at Woods Boss. That was the last time we did a podcast.
I think it was right after the cat trade.
It was after the cat trade. So here we are. Middle of the season, we have a lot to talk about today. It's Sunday, the day after a crazy trade in the NBA. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about how does this affect the Nuggets. What do the Nuggets do? How does this affect the Nuggets? Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Michael Porter trade rumors and things like that. And we're going to get all into it. And crazy time in the NBA. Welcome to Nuggets and Brews. My name is Misa. I got my good friend Kyle here. Kyle, how's it going?
It's going all right, man. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Denver, Colorado. Freaking gorgeous day outside. Super warm, super sunny.
Yeah.
As we expected in Mile High City. So
that's right. So we're out here today.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. We're out here at Renegade Brewing. It's actually been a while since we've been here as well. We came here like 5 years ago on like the first month or so. Yeah, it was like pre-pandemic, like the first month or so when this place first opened. We came and took some pictures. They were doing like a Reese's Cup type of beer, and we just came, had some fun and stuff like that. So we were like, you know what, let's check it out again. Let's see what's going on. Still great beers, great atmosphere. The tap room has changed a little bit, but it's still a great place to hang out. They have a great patio, and overall, awesome place to hang out. But let's start out with this Luka trade, because it is crazy.
Are we gonna start there, or should we just since we haven't had an episode for that like entire half a season? Should we just recap the season, or should we start right with the?
We need to start with what's hot right now. Yeah. Luka to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis, which is like two big pieces. That still sounds weird to me. The whole thing just sounds really weird.
So this is straight up, obviously on the Lakers' part, this is straight up succession plan. So this is straight up like, hey, Anthony Davis wasn't going to be the next LeBron, okay? And with LeBron not announced, but with LeBron potentially looking towards retirement in the next couple years, who's the next guy? Seems like a total succession move. The weird factor for me in this is Utah.
Yeah, it was just like a random. They got two second-round draft picks.
No, but they hurt themselves. They already had the Lakers protected picks for the first round this year.
Yeah. So Utah gets Jalen Hood, Shafino, whoever that is, a 2025 second-round pick and another 2025 second-round pick from the Clippers.
But they already had the Lakers first-round pick this year. They already had that. I don't
think they gave that up.
No, they didn't give it up, but they hurt the position of it by helping the Lakers do better this year.
Of course they would help.
They would
help the Lakers.
They're going to get a worse pick.
Oh gosh, that's awful.
I was reading some of the analysis on there, and they're like, "What is Utah thinking? They already have a lot of these high-priced picks, and they just hurt the value of those similar picks because if the Lakers finish better because of this trade." That first round pick that Utah already holds gets worse. Yeah. They go from a lottery pick to a
I don't know what's going on.
But then again, we know the league bends over for the Lakers.
Oh, absolutely. Hold on. Let me fix this camera, everybody, because we got some sun in here today. Well, that's the thing about filming towards the sun. It was either us or the camera. I'm starting to regret that it should have been us instead, but you know what? We're going to make it work today. But no, I I woke up today. I saw this news. I saw this news yesterday, and I thought it was a joke. How bad of a trade does it need to be for everyone to think it was like completely fake? And what a dumb move on Dallas' behalf. It still baffles me that
Dallas is getting nothing for this trade.
They're getting nothing for it, and because they want to win now, which is like you were better off with Luka.
So this is where I may disagree on that point. If your win now is this year, an injured Luka isn't helping you, and a healthy Anthony Davis may help you in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Beyond this year, that's a bad move.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean,
because the Lakers won't be able to count on Luka this year. Once again, what I said in the first little bit was this is a succession plan.
Yeah, of course.
This is for Luka to be the next Lakers star.
Isn't it disgusting how the Lakers get whatever they want, whenever they want?
Yeah.
And they somehow make it work. They somehow pull some dark magic strings, and they get Luka Doncic. Are you kidding me right now?
You know what's so frustrating
I'm disgusted right now.
with that is two things. Not even the Celtics get this kind of deference. Nobody gets this kind of deference.
No.
Which is weird because the Lakers aren't the only historic franchise. But B, the last couple years rumors for the last couple years was if Doncic was going to move, it was to play with Jokic.
Yeah, which is incredibly disappointing because if he was available, I'm like, the Lakers didn't give up anything. It's like we could have given up those peanuts as well, because the Lakers just essentially gave up
nothing,
some peanuts and shells, and we had plenty of that.
Once again, they just offloaded picks and different things to Utah.
It's insane.
Like Utah is almost like they were just sitting there like, Lakers, just give us your cast-offs, give us your whatever.
I'm flabbergasted by this move, and I think everyone in the NBA is shocked. Players from Dallas Cowboys are already speaking out about it. Jason Kidd didn't know about it.
Nobody knew about it.
Nobody knew about
crazy.
it. Did Mark Cuban sign off on this? I'm sure he didn't.
Mark Cuban is not part of the Mavs anymore.
Oh, is he not part of the owner anymore? Did he sell? Oh.
Yeah, he sold last year? Yeah.
I thought he was still like a majority owner.
No, he's like a minority. He has a stake, but he's not.
Oh, okay. The full-time owner. Still,
not even full-time owner. He doesn't run the thing anymore.
Whoever the Mavs owner is, or whoever's running things there, I would fire this GM immediately. Unless they know something about Luka, we don't. Well, the whole thing
was. To be fair,
one of the things that came out.
Luka's been in the league since 2012.
Yeah, well, one of the things that came out was his conditioning and that he had broken, a contract agreement that he was going to stay in shape and stuff like that. But still, I think it's
2016, right? Yeah.
I think it's easier to tell someone, hey, get in shape, than it is to trade him and get nothing for it. Like, what? To me, it doesn't make sense.
To be honest,
it makes perfect sense for the Lakers. Hell, I think this is a bit of a wake-up call.
But also, Lakers are all about branding, right?
Oh, he's oh my.
Yeah, because if
you think they're getting national games now.
Yeah, but what has Luka done in his career?
Western Conference, multiple All-Star appearances, a Finals appearance last year.
But
I mean, he's had this team in contention pretty much since he got there.
Well,
they've been
last year.
They've been a playoff perennial team.
Up until last year, they've been a playoff perennial team that everybody was looking at. It's like, cool, we'll just knock Dallas out. They're not really a contender. The problem is it took Kyrie getting there. It took some of the moves that the Mavs made to get to that finals last year. Yeah. But that Mavs team did not look like a real finals team.
Well, they ran into the Celtics, who are just a phenomenal team.
Yeah,
and they're not. I mean, that Celtics team was like they've been together for a while versus a team that just kind of put it together that same year.
Grapes. Do you honestly think that the Nuggets last year, if they had made it to the West, it would have gone forward like that against the Celtics?
No. And also, I was telling this to my wife. Had they gone to the Western Conference Finals, a tired Nuggets team would have beaten the Dallas Mavericks.
Because
a tired Minnesota team couldn't get it done.
No, the difference is we were a bad matchup for Mavs.
Yeah.
And we would have been a competitive matchup for the Celtics.
Yeah.
The Mavs, to be honest, this year, I think what's weird is I think this hurts both the Mavs and the
Lakers.
This year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Not long term, but this year.
Of course. I mean, whenever you have this type of trade, there's going to be like a growing period for both teams.
Luka's hurt.
And
Luka plays the same position as LeBron.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen is like Lakers are the 5th seed right now. I think Dallas is like number 6. They're right there. They're right there in the mix. They're going to drop off. And I think what's going to end up happening, you know what's going to end up happening?
A game and a half behind us.
Well,
that's the thing.
We know what's going to happen is Minnesota's on the rise. You know what's going to end up happening? We're probably going to end up playing them in the first round. Like they've been on the rise since.
Don't say that because they're not in the playoff picture right now.
They are. They're number 7 right now. They've been climbing the rankings this past couple weeks, and they just kind of been.
See, that's why I wanted to get into this last week because like over last week, all this stuff has flipped so hard because. If time had paused, if we had done this podcast last Thursday,
we would have been like
the Nuggets are poised to jump to the number 2 seed. Minnesota's not in the playoffs. The Lakers were a 6 seed.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
let's pull up the standings right now.
Like legit. Like this last week has been a huge shift in. Like everything.
Yeah, I mean it's been wild. The West is still wide open. So here's the standings from 4 to
we're not even a game
4
and
to
a
10.
half No, a game
because we're not gonna catch Oklahoma, Houston Rockets, or Memphis. Let's be honest about that. We might catch Memphis, but Memphis has to really mess up.
The problem with all of that is
it's still
last
pretty
week
tight.
we were within 2 games of the 2nd seed.
Yeah, but
that's what happens when you lose 3 in a row, guys.
So after Denver, you have the Lakers. You have the Clippers, you got Minnesota, you got Phoenix, Dallas, Sacramento, and then outside of the top 10 is Golden State and San Antonio.
To be honest, we would not play Minnesota. We would play. We would start the series off against the Lakers, and then we would end up playing.
If this started today. Yeah. But I'm saying Minnesota's been climbing,
but what you're saying,
I think they're going to end up.
But you literally just said that we would end up playing them in the playoffs. No, right now the way it's seeded.
I think so. I don't think LA Clippers are going to maintain that 6th spot, and I feel like the Lakers are going to drop off from the top 5 from the top 6.
That's not right now. And honestly, I think we can still rise.
But still,
we in December, dude, we went from 7th to freaking 3rd.
I still think the Nuggets are going to finish 4th. For whatever reason, I feel like we're going to end up playing Minnesota. I think they're going to end up climbing up to the 5th seed.
Personally, I think we will.
I don't know. I think there's just too much weirdness and dysfunction going on with the Nuggets right now. I think a 4 seed is like just about right for them for this particular team for this year. Having said all that, we talked about Luka. We talked about how does this affect the Nuggets in any way? I don't think it. Unless you're playing Dallas,
it affects 2 teams below us. So
I don't think it affects the Nuggets at all whatsoever. I think what this does, it does put other teams in position to play the Nuggets in like a weird series, whether we finish 3rd or 4th. I think that's what's going to end up happening. I don't even think we're going to end up playing Dallas or the Lakers. I think they're definitely going to drop from the standings. But
now, what we have to watch out for is moves like this causing teams like the Spurs to rise.
Mm-hmm. I think the Spurs are in talks with Sacramento, actually.
For DeAron Fox.
That's a scarier move to me. Because you pair that up with Wemby, who's just been tearing up the league.
Yeah, but he's at Chris Paul.
I mean, you're talking about comparison between Chris Paul and DeAron Fox.
Once again, I don't think this is this year move. I think that is a future move.
You never know. And this, I mean, after seeing this yesterday's trade, I think anything can happen in the NBA, and I think we've kind of seen it that anything can happen in the NBA.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the Nuggets. They're currently number 4, record of 30-19. They just played against the Hornets on a back-to-back. They had a 17-point lead. They almost blew it, but they get the win 107-104. And then the night before, they played Philly, who was also super banged up. They barely squeaked by that one, but it was Tyrese Maxey who was playing super awesome for them.
Yeah, but we gave up a giant lead in that game.
And then you gave up a lead on that one as well.
And let's not forget what we just did in Chicago, which was a freaking disaster.
Yeah, so Chicago was a disaster.
Philly was a disaster, dude, because we were up big in that game.
Yeah, I mean, you barely squeaked by. You barely won that one.
Right,
which
but we were
great.
huge. And last night, that game was tied with 30 seconds left.
Yeah. They got a lead, 104-100, with under a minute to go.
Dude, it was.
And Jokic basically scores the last 7 points of the game. Are you concerned about the Nuggets this year? What's your overall feel for the Nuggets? Because
I don't know what to feel. This is what's so upsetting about the Nuggets this year, and I'm going to say this to the fans, to everybody. This is what's upsetting. I don't know who the Nuggets are. Beginning of the season, I'm like, okay, this is a team who's kind of in a quasi-rebuilding. We got to make some moves.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. We're not playing up to our potential. We're not maximizing the best player in the world. Da-da-da. Then November, December comes, and we look like the best team in the league for a month and a half. Jokic is doing things nobody's ever seen. Jamal's having like multiple 20 to freaking 40-point games. Like, it looks like the old Nuggets again.
Yeah.
And then last week happens. And it goes, okay, we went from going 12-3 in our last 15 games to all of a sudden losing 3 in a row and barely squeaking out a win last night. And against bad teams.
Yeah.
Not like Chicago, Chicago, Charlotte, and the 76ers right now in the East. Nobody's talking about them. They are not great teams.
Yeah.
And
so you lose to Minnesota, you lose to the Knicks. No, it was you lose to Chicago and then the Knicks.
And then the Knicks.
Or was it the other way? I can't remember.
It was Minnesota, Chicago, Knicks.
Yeah. And the Knicks one was a little tough one because you were kind of in there, but just your clutch minutes just disappeared.
Oh, like there was talk about like
just your clutch execution against the Knicks.
Darling of the league,
awful.
And then going on a Sunday on ABC, everybody watching and getting absolutely smoked by Minnesota.
Again by Minnesota, and the Nuggets played soft. They played
Not
timid.
soft.
They
got destroyed in that game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, are the Nuggets scared of Minnesota? Like, does the size really affect them that much?
What size? It's only Gobert left. That was what's weird. It's we got rid of Cat.
It's not even size. It's toughness. I mean, you're talking about Gobert's a tough player. Like we give him crap about it, but he's a tough defender. And so is what's his name?
But we've seen the Nuggets in the last 4 years be the tougher team. We've seen the physicality of the Nuggets,
which is frustrating. Because you're like, we expect the Nuggets to be a tough team, mental team, not just like physically, a mental tough team. And it seems like Minnesota's got their number for whatever reason. And it's not like because we said this before, after the Cat trade, Minnesota got worse, and they did. And it's not like they're any better offensively.
Worse against everybody else but us.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
That's the thing about it.
For whatever reason.
Worse against the entire league except for us.
Yeah, well, they're just confident against the Nuggets. That's the thing about it. It's like, and then the Nuggets just kind of played down to their level, and the game started out a little tight, and then it just got away from them immediately. And after it got away from them immediately, Minnesota just kind of did whatever they wanted because it's just kind of started playing safe and just in their own hands. And the physical also affected a little bit. Although it didn't affect Jamal Murray that much this time around, I think he was a little bit better.
That game, he was the one. He was
the one who kept him in. Yeah. But no, I'm a little worried about this Minnesota-Denver matchup.
I'm not just worried about that. Right now, is Michael Porter Jr. in a slump? The last 3 games for MPJ have not.
I think the trade rumors are getting to him, and I think he's starting to kind of get in his own head. And as a player who is very, because Michael Porter's a professional. He's a damn he loves fucking playing basketball. He loves it. But the thing about it is, like, he's also an inconsistent player at times. And right now he's in that inconsistent phase, and you double that with the trade rumors, I think he's in his own head right now.
And I don't disagree, but it's also weird to see. We have seen over the last month, when the Nuggets are doing really well, we've seen him miss his shot. But then put in those efforts, get the cleanup buckets. Yeah. Get those offensive rebounds.
He's been doing other things.
Defense, like he's been doing, and then all of a sudden last week, not doing those things.
Against the Hornets, he was a little better. He definitely had a bad game against Chicago.
He had a bad game shooting against
He had a horrible game against the Knicks. But it's like...
why are we even playing this game? It's because we already know. We've talked about this. Everybody's talking about this. The Nuggets don't have the contracts and pieces to move.
Yeah.
Even Michael Porter Jr. Even teams that would want him don't want that contract.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the worst contract. Let's be fair.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
It's not the worst.
But
it's not attractive.
But is it valuable for other teams? I don't think it is.
That's the thing about it. It's not attractive.
It's valuable for us because we know who Michael Porter is. I just don't think other teams are not aware.
Also, we're not going to give up Michael Porter without extra pieces. Yeah. And for other teams, the contract plus extra pieces doesn't work for them.
You know what sucks about this roster is, like, as much as we love our guys, we love Payne Watson, we love Julian Strawther, we love Christian Brown. I think other teams look at the Nuggets and they're like they don't have anything we want, because other teams have 3-point shooters, they have bigs. Other teams are not going to give up what they have for. They look at our players, they're like, we don't even want to deal with y'all because we want, but also I don't think we have anything that we can give you or any, and I don't think the Nuggets.
And the other thing too is the only 2 players that anybody wants from the Nuggets is going to be Murray or Jokic.
Yeah.
And
you can't move Murray.
You can't move Murray because we just signed him to the crazy contract.
Yeah.
And we're never moving Jokic. Like that's just not.
We're not Dallas. We're not just gonna randomly trade him.
That's not
for a bag of peanuts.
Even then, that's not a thing.
That would never happen. And if we do like that, if Jokic ever gets traded, like the next 5 years, I denounce my fanship towards the Nuggets. It's like Jokic can go another 10 years with the style of that he plays, but that is like a nightmare that I'm willing to not even talk about.
I don't think that's a reality. What I'm saying is the pieces and things we can offer aren't attractive to other teams without extras, and we've already spent all the extras.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, earlier in the season, the trade rumor was like the Nuggets were interested in trading Michael Porter for Zach LaVine. Obviously, that's kind of gone and passed.
Yep.
But the trade rumor of trading Michael Porter and the possibility of him leaving is still there, of being traded, and they're just. Like you were saying, like who are we going to trade for? Because in the NBA, you have to match dollar for dollar. You have to. It's got to be within like a certain percentage.
Yeah.
So if someone gets paid $32 million, you can trade for like a $30 million player.
Who's out there? The only person I can think that's out there is Jimmy Butler, and from all reports, that ain't in the cards, right?
I would not like.
And I don't think
Jimmy Butler here.
I don't think it's good long term compared to Michael Porter Jr. Like I'd rather keep MPJ long term versus. Getting
So here's I pulled up just a list of players who are getting paid around the same as Michael Porter Jr. Tell me if you like any of these names, Kyle. OG Anunoby, Brandon Ingram, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for whatever reason, gets paid less than Michael Porter. Donovan Mitchell, they're not going to give him up. LaMelo Ball.
Okay, so let's back over there a second.
Tyrese Maxey.
So you just named a bunch of players that are already involved in moves, who are already cemented. So let's look at like what would actually be. Maxey's not going anywhere because let's be honest.
I've been saying this for a while, and I've actually been thinking about this one. CJ McCollum.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know me. I'm a big fan of CJ McCollum. And as much as I hate his guts, whenever he destroyed us in that Game 7 versus Portland series, I respect the hell out of CJ McCollum because he's a great all-around player. And the Pelicans are in sell mode right now. They're definitely going to be getting rid of Brandon Ingram. That team is distraught by injuries, and something's going to have to give. And they're going to be the most. They're going to be the most active team at the deadline.
Okay. Ingram or McCollum?
I would take McCollum. I would immediately take McCollum.
So older player over younger player, even though Ingram is showing up. But the problem is who we give it. So if we're getting up MPJ, I'm taking Ingram. Because I'm sorry, that size, you can't replace MPJ's size.
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's the thing about it though. Like, if you give up Brandon Ingram, you're gonna have to deal with Aaron Gordon somehow, because Brandon Ingram plays a power forward, and so now you're gonna be overly stacked.
Let's back up a little bit. This is something we have not talked about. We keep saying MPJ, but
Aaron Gordon just signed an extension, so you can't trade him either.
So did MPJ.
Well, MPJ
not last year, but a year before, but still, it's still.
So Aaron Gordon signed his this year, so you can't move him. So that's why Michael Porter's been the only one on the trade rumor mill for the Nuggets, because he's the only one who hasn't signed an extension recently.
Right.
You're saying Brandon Ingram, he gets paid about $36 million, $1 million more than.
Well, I'm just saying, like CJ.
It's really close.
So another guard.
Yeah.
Like, and we have a lot of guards on our team.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you get anyone that's like a shooting guard for Michael Porter Jr., you're gonna have to end up trading another piece, which would end up being either Christian Brown, Peyton Watson or Julian Strawther, because you're going to have to move some pieces around to get another big
And
back.
that's the thing is, I wouldn't want to trade both of those for a CJ McCollum.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't be just 2 for 1. You would have to get something from them
I get
to
it,
kind of match the salaries.
But would it be like it would be a pick or it would be a compensatory?
I would much rather get another player. I would much rather get another big or another like taller player that you can just kind of put in there to replace the rebounding and to replace the size.
All this being said, we've gone through a lot of scenarios. To be honest, I don't think the Nuggets are doing anything.
Yeah.
If
it's anything, I think it'll be like a bench
everybody,
move.
this was clickbait because I honestly believe that legit the Nuggets are going to probably stand pat because I think that Calvin Bluth believes in Hall as a future backup for Jokic.
But also DeAron Holmes getting hurt earlier in summer league, that messed up everything.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It really just messed up everything.
I do think that long term the Nuggets are actually in a better situation than we think.
Yeah.
And that is our real question is, do we panic now for this year, or do we actually keep our pieces and go for next year? But that's a gamble. Either way is a gamble.
Yeah, it seems like just Nuggets fans in general are just so accustomed. We have engraved ourselves with the recent championship run that we had, and we're still expecting this team to be the same. It's not the same team anymore. Like we have to put this.
No.
It's not the same. It's not the same vibes. It's not the same construct. It's not the same mentality. Like we're in a window right now where we have to really think about the next 4 years for like prime best of Jokic, and this year's going to end up being a wash, another washed year.
I think you're selling this year out too hard, too fast.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Nuggets fans in general are like they're so quick to be like, oh well, it should be this way because we won a champion. It's like no, guys, like we're still going to be good.
Oh, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, I'm going to tell you right now, we are not out this season, and
no.
I wonder more about this season. I look at it, and there's frustrations as a fan in the moments. Mm-hmm. But I look at some of the moves. I look at the way our team has handled injuries this year, the way we handle players this year. I wonder if we're just like legit. Like, I mean, we came into the season and say, hey, the Nuggets only have to be healthy in the playoffs. That's what we're saying, healthy in the playoffs.
We're still.
And I wonder if that's literally what we're doing. Mm-hmm. I wonder if our whole plan is like. No, we're better. We've shown in December, November that we're really good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest. For 6 weeks, we were the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Up until last week. The only reason we're having this conversation right now is because of the last week. Mm-hmm. If we went 4-1 last week instead of 1-3, we would be sitting there going, "Oh, the Nuggets don't need to do anything. Yeah. We're on the rise. We got our chemistry back. We're about to kill people."
Well,
like the whole point is that recency bias may be affecting us too. And the idea, when you look at the championships the past few years, let's be honest, outside of the Nuggets championship and the Celtics championship, the teams that won the championships weren't the number 1 or 2 seeds.
Yeah.
They were the Warriors coming from the 5 seed.
Boston was.
That's why I said the Celtics. I included that. Nuggets and Celtics were the ones. When the Bucks won, they were not the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
The Warriors came from the 5th seed.
I see what you're saying. You know, I think there's still hope for the Nuggets though, because as weird as this season has been, there's been some bright spots. Julian Strawther's coming into his own. Second-year player. In this middle of the season, he started a little rough, but now he seems to understand NBA defense a little bit better.
The brightest spot for me in the last 2 months is that Murray wasn't healthy, and now we have a healthy Murray, and
he's looking great.
He looks like Murray.
And also, screw you, Ken Perkins, because you don't watch the Nuggets. And for you to say that Christian Brown was not it with the Nuggets, stop speaking for Nuggets fans.
I will say,
stop speaking for us, because
once
we
again,
love Christian Brown, and he's been everything.
Another revelation over the second part of the season.
Christian Brown's been fantastic.
The first part of the season, I was like, oh my God, the Christian Brown for KCP thing isn't working. The last 2 months, complete opposite. Christian Brown is a dog. He's a great player. He's a defensive thing, but he will line up a transition 3 like no else.
And also, whenever there's a transition opportunity, he will take you to the bucket. He's got no fear. he will dunk on your face like there's no tomorrow, and I love that
aggressiveness. I love him and Russ and MPJ, the way they've run together this last couple times for transition buckets. Those three have been able to clean each other up so many times. And let's also something we haven't even touched on. Russ.
He's been great. I have no complaints about him, other than like maybe slow down a little bit every once in a while.
You mean the first 2 months of the season was like, oh my God, what did we do? This is not working. About that. And the last month and a half has been, wait. Yeah. Russ is the most comfortable he's been in a long time. And we may get playoff Russ.
His finishing around the rim's gone way better for whatever reason. Like,
dude, his connection with Jokic,
it's been great. Like the past 3 games, he's been a little sloppy with Jokic. You know, he's had some turnovers, but I think that's expected from Russell Westbrook, and I'm fine with that because I'd rather him try and make those like really tight passes to Jokic instead of just being hesitant. And I like that about Russell. He's not hesitant. He will take the open shot, as he's been, asked to do, and he's been doing a great job of it because he's been making some threes, but also he's aggressive whenever it comes to like the pick and rolls with Jokic.
So my question to you is, do you think that the Russ Nuggets suffers from the same thing previous iterations, like I said, suffered? When we're the underdogs, play really well. When we start getting hype, play really bad. Because that Russ Jokic connection that everybody was talking about for last month, those last 4 games, is look rough.
Also, Russell did get hurt a couple of games ago, so it's gonna. I was saying this like whenever Aaron Gordon came back and then Russell was still starting, I had some doubts about that, but now that Russell got hurt, I think he's gonna end up still coming back off the bench. Christian Brown's going to retain that 5 spot, which is like what I think, which is a natural thing for the Nuggets to do. And for Michael Malone, the smart thing to do is, hey, keep Russell on the bench because the bench is still struggling. And I think him manning that bench is where we need him the most as opposed to the starters. We need the energy off the bench. And he's still going to get minutes with the starters. Like, let's not forget that Jokic plays a lot of minutes with the bench. There's a lot of overlap. So I just put him on the bench. Like, just put him back there.
So I think we've talked a lot. This has been a long one segment. I'm sure in post you'll cut it up. But let's touch on some of the season stories right now. Mm-hmm. Is this Jokic's best season ever?
It's a historic. It's another historic year for Jokic. I mean, what do you say about Jokic? Like he's the best player in the world. He's playing out of his mind.
What I have to say about it is like every year I'm like, Jokic can't do better than the previous. Like at some point there's like some like plateau.
He leveled up this year.
I'm literally saying like there's no drop off for Jokic, but there's a plateau.
Mm-hmm. No,
but he keeps surpassing, and this year's been insane. I mean, I can't name the games we've been at where we were just like, oh my God, did you just see what Jokic did?
Getting multiple triple doubles before the fourth quarter. 6 or 7 straight triple doubles? That's crazy.
And it was 5 in a row before the third quarter, and then like he had the only freaking 30, 20, 15 games since Wilt. I mean, like in that. I mean, it
was insane.
Like Jokic will go down as a top. I honestly believe he'll go down as a top 5.
I still can't believe
maybe
he's
10.
I still can't believe he's a Denver Nugget.
Yeah,
Sometimes I wake up
like
and I'm
all
like,
time.
Pinch me,
he's
please.
going to go down as a top 10 to 5 player.
Yeah.
All time.
Yeah, all time.
Okay.
Doesn't matter by position.
And
it's just,
he's
going to
playing
be in the top
better
10.
than we've ever seen, and still getting disrespected in the MVP playoff.
Still doesn't get a fair whistle.
But I think that's also because of our seeding. Like I think if we were a top 3 seed right now, Jokic would be a clear favorite for the MVP.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, I mean, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been great, and also he's been playing without Chet Holmgren at times without.
But you look at the metrics.
Hartenstein.
What Jokic has been doing has been like.
But everyone's like looking at the record. For whatever reason, now the record matters.
Exactly what I said.
For whatever reason, now it matters this year.
If we were a top 3 seed, it wouldn't be a conversation.
Just Jokic haters. But you know what? So we won the championship whenever Jokic didn't get an MVP. Yeah. So I think I would rather get another chip than for Jokic to get another MVP.
Always.
Because I think at this point I don't think it matters that Jokic gets another MVP because, like you said, he's going to finish top 10 in the all-time list, and he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer the moment he retires.
A 4th MVP would make that solidify.
And a 4th
puts him in. A 4th puts him with Larry, LeBron, Magic, MJ, Wilt, and Kareem. That's it. That's it. That's the list.
If he doesn't get it this year, I think there's going to be multiple years where he'll probably end up with 3 more.
Yeah,
I think he'll end up with 3 more.
But I mean, maybe. And that's the thing is, we cannot just say he made it. We can't take for granted what we have right now.
But also, he's just an undeniable force, and he's going to be in the conversations. If he's healthy, he's going to be in the conversations every year. And with him, the Nuggets are just going to be always. Yeah. They're going to be always good. We talked a little bit about Luka. How did it affect the Nuggets? We think it's not really going to affect them that much, other than like the seeding position is going to change for who they're going to end up playing in the playoffs. Depending on how the rest of the season goes. Nuggets are yet to play Memphis. We've only played one time against the Rockets, so there's multiple opportunities to move up in the standings.
Jokic did not play.
And also, against the Rockets, Jokic did not play. So there's multiple opportunities to continue climbing up in the standings. Right now, off the top of your head, you said they might finish 3rd. What do you think? Where do you see the Nuggets finishing?
If we held this podcast a week ago, I would have told you we're finishing 2nd in the West. We were legit on 2.5 games back of the 2nd seed.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
The Rockets have a bit of a tough schedule coming up. They have to play the Knicks, the Timberwolves, Mavericks, the Suns, Warriors, Timberwolves again,
Spurs,
Bucks, Spurs. I mean, they have quite a bit of a tough, tough stretch, and so does.
I think we're a top 3 seed.
So does Memphis. Yeah,
I think we're a top 3 seed.
I say top 4 because I just want to give me that comfort.
Oh well, yeah, we're going to be top 4, but I honestly expect us to move up a little bit.
Yeah,
I think we're going to make that after playoff push again. This would be my last thought. Our playoffs, our season goes as Aaron Gordon goes.
Yeah, I'm glad he's healthy again. I think we really miss his rebounding.
Do you think he's healthy now?
I think he's about 80%, and I think it's a good 80%.
I think 80% is good for coming to the playoff break or for the All-Star break, because I really do not feel he's fully there yet, and I think if he is, once he gets fully there, we can play our pure brand of basketball, and I do think that portends better for us.
Yeah, he's about 80% back. I honestly, we need him for rebounding, because rebounding has been a huge issue for the Nuggets this year, and just his defensive mentality, and it's just how smart he is on the defensive end, and then just stay in that dunker spot. Yeah, I think he's back in that dunker spot, and it really bodes well for the Nuggets whenever he's cutting and setting screens and stuff like that. So I'm glad he's back, and I'm glad it wasn't anything egregious. Yeah. He did miss 20 games. No, but I think
also too, this is what I was saying earlier. It's I almost feel like the Nuggets is playing that Warriors game of healthy is better
just
than record.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in past years we probably would have rushed Aaron back sooner.
Yeah.
Just to get wins, and I I'm hoping more that we're playing this long game of if we can just get the playoffs, be healthy, then we don't care about the seedings. We don't care about the stuff because let's be honest, last year we cared a lot about the seedings, but didn't come into the playoffs healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping this year is no, we're into the playoffs healthy, and we don't care about the seasons because we know we can beat teams on the road.
So as weird as the season has been, and as weird as the road trip has been, the Nuggets went 2-3 on this 5-game road trip. Despite everything, the Nuggets are still right there.
Yeah.
And also the West has been just a gauntlet. Yeah. I'm looking at the standings. There's a lot of teams have gone 6-4 out of the last 10.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of teams have been that way. So it's all fluctuation. The West is a gauntlet. It's going to be like that. And I think as long as you just stay on pace and just stay healthy, I think the Nuggets is going to be just fine. Yeah. There is obviously, just like every other team, there's question marks on the roster.
And I will tell you right now,
at least we're not the Suns, who are loaded with talent, and they can't seem to get it together. And
we haven't even talked about the trade rumors around KD.
Yeah,
or Beal.
Oh yeah, and so there's other teams that have not had the continuity that Oklahoma City, Denver, Memphis, the Rockets have had. All those other teams that haven't had continuity, the way those 4 teams that I just mentioned, they're at the bottom. They're not even top 4. So the top 4 teams are the 4 most exciting teams in the West, and also they're the 4 teams that have had the most continuity. Obviously Memphis has had some injuries the past couple of years with John Morant, but they've basically had the same roster, and they've had the same coach, they've had the same
and
everything.
Been a top 2 seed,
and they've been a top 2 seed before. So the teams that have had continuity are the top 4 teams, and I think it's going to stay that way. It might flip flop from 2 to 4, but other than that, I think we got to tell Nuggets fans it's all right. Road trips are road trips. You're going to lose some road trips.
Well, this is how I'm feeling about the season.
And
I just want to see the playoffs. If we're healthy going into the playoffs, I take us against anybody.
I think so too. Because at the end of the day, Malone's going to shorten that rotation, and those heavy minutes for Jokic, Murray, Gordon, MPJ, they're going to come in handy. Yep. And as long as they're healthy, I think they're. Yeah. This is still the best starting 5 in the NBA. No one's still talking about that. Like
they are. To be fair, 1 through 5 still the starting 5.
They're still great. Yep. So weird season so far, but I think there's still hope that we might be healthy for the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. So, Kyle, thanks so much for joining me on this crazy NBA. I mean, we might have another one because if there's like something happening with the Nuggets or any other crazy trade
things coming up, man.
NBA trade lines coming up.
And to be honest, we've been lax on getting these done, so we should definitely do more.
Now that the NBA is really, really churning and going, I think we might be doing a lot more podcasts and stuff like that. We've just been crazy busy. He goes to school. I work in sports as well, so it's almost like I have to do my regular job and then this. So, but anyways, thanks so much for everybody for joining us on Nuggets and Brews. Make sure to come to Renegade Brewing. I think it's it's on 9th in between Santa Fe and Calumet. Great little brewery spot. It's been here for quite a while. It's a great place to hang out. Awesome beers. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And let's go Nuggets. And Nugget fans, just relax a little bit. Let's wait a little bit. Let's wait. If things get worse from here till March, I think we can definitely have some really interesting discussions. But I think the Nuggets are fine. Little question marks here and there, but what NBA team doesn't?
Exactly.
That's my final thought on it. Lakers are still going to suck. If we play them again, we're still gonna own them. And Dallas, you might get a little bigger, but you know what? You're gonna have to go through like a weird phase of like having to rediscover yourself. I ain't worried about Dallas.
And let's be honest,
I ain't worried about Phoenix. Yeah. I ain't worried about Sacramento a little bit. I ain't worried about the Clippers. Minnesota, you still have our number, and hopefully we turn that around because we still have 2 more games against Minnesota. Yep. And I think they're both here at home.
And we haven't played Thunder in a while, so we don't know how we second guess them.
So, and they're all home games here. So, hey, we have an opportunity to catch up, make some ground in the Western Conference, and I think we'll be all right.
I think so too.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Thanks so much for joining me on Nuggets and Brews. Have a great day, Colorado. See you, everybody.